Hi there, welcome to Ask the Expert, a daily series from 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. to help small businesses. Ask any questions in the comments or hashtag Qbait on Twitter. If you need any more advice, join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community group on Facebook, where you'll find accountants and business experts are on hand 24/7. QuickBooks also has a dedicated COVID-19 information site. Just go to QuickBooks website, scroll down a bit and click on the Learn More button, which says support for you and your businesses during COVID-19. So hi there, my name's Freddie. I'm the founder of Stag Coffee in Ashford and in Canterbury in Kent. We opened back in April 2016 as a coffee shop. And I'm here to talk to you about sort of a bit of our history, what we've done during the whole COVID-19 and what we're planning to do in the future. So, as I said, we're a coffee shop, we're a family-run business. It's myself with my wife who sort of helps with product development. I have my grandfather who helps me with my accounts. My father's also involved as like a constructive criticism and helps sort of develop the business in other ways. And then other aspects of the family chip in and help out, whether it's my sister helping out processing our new online grocery orders, or one of my aunts helping out with responding to reviews, etc., etc. So Stag, we opened in Ashford first in April 2016. This was our first business, completely our own ideas. We started off just myself in the kitchen and my wife out front with a few other staff members, just doing coffee, sandwiches and cakes. And the business quickly developed. We got a really good following on social media. We then decided to add cooked food to our menu, so doing some cooked breakfasts. To begin with, just on Sundays, doing like a brunch Sunday. That really took off, and so we just kept on with the food. So the business has really developed, having full-on restaurant whilst doing the whole takeaway sandwiches and cakes offering. As time went on, we started developing the business more. We got ourselves a premises license, and we started doing live jazz evenings where we had live jazz bands. We provided cocktails, a set menu. We've had salsa evenings where we've had pop-up. We've had all sorts of pop-ups, whether it's a comedy night or anything on that sort. And we've also had restaurateurs come in and do their own pop-up kitchens in our shop as well. And yeah, the business has really sort of developed from there. And then in March 2019, we opened up our second shop in Canterbury, which is basically a collection of all our experiences and knowledge that we've learned in the 3 years before in Ashford, sort of put into the Canterbury unit, which have been going really well. Then, of course, in March 2020, we had the whole COVID situation, which made us have to rethink what we were going to do fairly quickly. So we decided to go down the line of groceries, looking at how the market was changing. We saw everyone was looking for home deliveries of their groceries, but there was none available. And considering we thought it was probably going to last for quite a while, we thought people would be more likely wanting to spend money on getting their fruit and veg and essentials and cleaning products more than regularly ordering their sandwiches, especially if people were having to go onto a budget. So we converted both shops into grocery stores a couple of days before the lockdown. And we started taking orders via Facebook Messenger, which quickly became busier than we could cope with, to the point where we shut down Canterbury and consolidated all their orders and stock into our Ashford shop to reduce my workload, because it was getting very stressful trying to figure out stock control and everything else regarding it and processing the orders. So we continued servicing Canterbury, but just closed the shop. Fortunately, we had a website design company called Warp Design offer their assistance, and they provided us with a sort of bespoke ordering platform, which meant processing orders was suddenly a lot faster and easier to do. So that really helped us build our business in the early stages when we were doing sort of 40 plus home deliveries a day, 6 days a week. With the grocery side of stuff in Ashford, it really sort of kicked off, and we were kept busy with that, and we decided to start developing our own ready meals, which were very popular, to the point where it's something we're now working towards developing the packaging a bit more, and going to start trying sending it nationwide, as it's something that we see as a permanent thing we can maintain at the same level that we're doing now through online sales, and not an easy, but something that I can see as growing in the nationwide market. Some of our things we've been focusing on whilst doing the grocery is making sure we're supplying local producers and suppliers, working with different companies like Curd and Cure, which are a purveyor of fine foods in Kent from small producers, whether it's Captain cookies and Kentish cheeses, and all sorts of other things, local pie makers, to the point where we're also working with local butchers like the Marlow Butchers in Ashford, Watts Farm for our fresh fruit and veg. We've worked with Buridan Manor Farm for the milk and stuff like that, because it's been important to us to support other local producers and use the producers we were using before. And some of the ones we've found in this time, we're definitely going to be continuing working with them, because their products are great and it's been a good experience with them. So with the groceries, we've been continuing doing that throughout the whole time of COVID. Recently, we reopened our Ashford site, and I've got to thank Alice, Naomi, and Sue, the driver, for their hard work in doing the groceries, and also now working in the shop, making sure everyone's following the social distancing rules. Yeah, it's been going really well. If anyone is looking for takeaway coffees in Ashford, we are now on Uber Eats as well, so you can get your coffee, loaded donuts, sandwiches, paninis, pies, and more on Uber Eats. We're open every day. And if you're looking for grocery home delivery, we do offer next day delivery. You just go on to www.stag-coffee.com, and at the top there's order home delivery. Just click through there and you'll be able to see all our products we have, and yeah, you can check it out, and we should be able to help you out. But I should probably start taking questions now. So the first question is from Nick on Facebook Messenger. He says, "Hey Freddie, now you've been doing the food delivery for a few months, what would you say your key learnings have been that you can share?" So, Nick, I would say the key things I've learned from running a grocery shop is two things. One, you need to have a really good system in place to accept orders and to process the orders, so you can see exactly what stock you're needing for the next day, especially if you're working on a next day turnaround. You need to be able to get those orders in, respond to them properly, and have a good Excel or a good database which will process the orders and let you know what stock you have. I mean, we don't have a live stock system. Everything we do, we count the stock once a week, and there is no live system to track what we have. So, you know, at 4 o'clock, once we've got all the orders in, we already have a spreadsheet sort of produced that tells exactly how much we need of everything, and we will quickly go through the shop and place any extra orders that we need to. So having a good system in place, even if it is just manpower sorting it out, that was definitely helpful. And the other side is social media presence, being constantly talking on social media is really important. Even if you've not got a lot to say that particular day because you can't think of anything, it just helps remind people that you're there, because especially nowadays when all the shops are closed and no one's sort of coming in all the time and looking to spend their money with you, you just need to say hi once in all the time. But we've definitely been able to track our online sales against our social media content, and it's been working really well. So I hope that sort of answers your questions. I'm sure there are other things I've learned. I've also learned that I like working from home quite a lot. So I'll definitely be working towards getting back to that position again. So Janessa from Twitter's DM saying, "How do you evaluate when to open a new store? What are the things you look at when you decide on a new location?" So there's a couple of things, Janessa. The first thing I would do to evaluate is to see the performance of our current shop. So with Ashford, we didn't look to open Canterbury until I was 100% certain Ashford was working to the best it could and had a good sort of model of growth, and the team around it was a team I could trust and work with, and they had enough strength and depth for myself not being able to jump in and cover, because my time would be 100% focused on the new site. So that was sort of one of the first measures, but of course you can't necessarily wait to have a strong team before you look for the shop. So at the same time as developing that team and having that team, we were looking at, for ourselves, location is very important to us. Having a good visible unit is worth a lot for us. So we were looking for sort of your shopping centres, lots of visible glass, ideally near car park and a pedestrianised shopping area with big shops around us, because footfall is a big thing for us. You know, we require footfall to get the customers in the coffee shop for sales, and I know there'll be some people who will weigh it up and say, you know, it's you choose a busy location, your rent is higher, and that's the way it works. And for me, running a business, I like to be rushed off my feet, because if I'm rushed off my feet, and as long as I've kept control of my margins and my labour costs, then I know the business is doing well. It's when it's quiet, you can still do well when it's quiet. It's just I get more nervous because any little change can make things bad. So for me, making sure the town is a strong town. There's uh, lots of different revenue streams, like with Canterbury, there, the tourism, the local trade, and the uni students. Plus, the rent wasn't too bad. That was a big sort of pull to me. But none of that would have happened without the Ashford store being successful and secure, I think is the right word. So I hope that answers your question, Janessa. Nazir from Facebook Messenger asked, do you see the ready meal and delivery side of your business as an opportunity to scale Stag Coffee beyond COVID-19, and how do you plan to do this? The answer is yes, I do. The ready meal side is something I'm particularly keen and focused on doing, because it's something, there are other businesses out there that do send frozen meals out through, DPD and other postal carriers that offer next day delivery. And I see that as there's a huge potential to grow that to a level to almost be its own business in itself if it required it to be. So currently focusing on developing the packaging, because currently our packaging that we have is suitable for oven reheating but not microwave reheating, so or microwave cooking. So want to develop that, and then the idea is just to send that out nationwide, really build on the social media presence, work on that, because it's been, I feel like there's a real opportunity for it. I just have a good feeling about it, and it's quite fun to develop products. And yeah, I see as focusing on the online sales, but approaching maybe farm shops, petrol stations, other sort of small businesses that offer ready meals that aren't your big sort of Waitrose and Sainsbury's, because they probably won't take branded ready meals when they can make it themselves. So that's where I sort of see that. With the grocery side of stuff, I intend to keep going with it as long as it works, and still works at the moment alongside the coffee shop opened. I don't see us upscaling it to do the whole of Kent, regardless of where it is, in the near future, because it's not something I'm going to be focused on. But it's not to say it'll never happen, because again, it does really well, and it gives us access to products that we wouldn't normally have in the shop. So it's made our new menu is being developed. It's been fairly exciting, because we're able to stock large quantities of veggies and different cured meats and stuff that we wouldn't normally stock in. Wouldn't be confident enough we'd sell enough of it. So yeah, and with the Uber Eats, it's already working really well. So we'll be continuing doing our sort of coffee deliveries. So yeah, I think Stag Coffee will not go back to the same way it traded before COVID, and we should come out better for it. Toby from Facebook Messenger says, as you've opened your coffee shops for takeaway service, what risk assessments have you been carrying out to ensure it is safe for the public? I'm looking to open my shop soon, and it would be great to hear what you've done. So we've redone our fire risk assessment, and we've redone the normal risk assessment. So the councils have been really good, and the Environmental Health Service has been really good. They've been sending us information packs consistently throughout this whole time. We happen to be also sort of looking for them beforehand, but it's really available on HSE. And yeah, we've been basically filling them out. Once you've done that, you can get a certificate from the government saying that you've completed it. Our risk assessments are available in shop. There is a link on our website to them. So we do that. It's fairly simple, and the rules are quite easy to follow. We'll just have to we'll have to keep updating it as the rules change. But it's not too hard, because as long as you've been keeping your risk assessments up to date, all you'd have to do is add a new column to basically the risk is COVID-19, list the risks, list what you're going to do about them, and when you've implemented them, and that's basically it. So it's fairly simple and easy. So I hope that answers your question. Rona from Twitter asks on Twitter DM is, we run a cafe and find your move to Uber Eats interesting. How do you apply to get on the Uber platform, and what has your experience been like? So, my experience has been a bit different with Uber to maybe others. Uber actually approached us rather than me approaching them. So I imagine there must be a portal online to approach them, but unfortunately they called me, just kept calling the landline, and we eventually answered to them. And it was a fairly easy process. I mean, it took about a week for them to get all the information and stuff sent across, like the tablets and getting everything signed and stuff like that, and them to put the menu. And then I took about 5 days to adjust the menu, because of course the menu they took from my website was pre-COVID, and we're not on that menu anymore. So, I mean, within 2 weeks of the phone call, we were up and running with Uber Eats, and it's been really good so far. There's been some challenges, but it's been good. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question. All right, cool. So, Mitchell from Facebook Messenger. Good morning. We're a business also taking orders through Facebook Messenger for drop-off or pick-up options. What was the moment that you realized you needed a dedicated ordering system, and what system has helped your process? For us, it was probably within 5 days of doing it, where, because our grocery shop, we had, in excess of 100 to 200 different products on our list. It was getting, and we were getting, to begin with 20, and it sort of started moving up and up to sort of 40 home deliveries a day. It was getting too much for us to, I mean, if you ever use Facebook Messenger, you're trying to copy and then paste into a document, it's awful. And so it was taking so much time, and because we were determined to keep to the next day guaranteed delivery for orders placed before a certain time, it was very hard work. And we were fortunate enough that one of our sort of customers through the coffee shop sort of approached us online and offered to build us a online ordering website. They do it for other people in Ashford and Kent area. It's called www.deliverylocal.co.uk. It's done by the guys at Warp Design, which are Ashford based, and it's made the process of taking orders. So you get the customer will place the order online, they'll pay online. We both get an email of the order. That email is really easy then to just put into we just literally strip the email, put it into the Excel spreadsheet, and then we've sort of developed the spreadsheet to break down exactly what we need of everything. So like once I've got 10, 15 orders or more or less orders for the day, at the end of that, on the last spreadsheet, I have just a total number of what I need of everything. It just makes it easier to place an order, so we can make sure we can get everything sorted. And I thought also it made it more attractive for customers, because it gave them that sort of Tesco online ordering experience. rather than typing everything into their phone. It just made things a lot easier for them. Yeah. So I think, I mean, I would suggest if it's worth investing in it or looking to sort it out yourself now, because you don't want it to start getting too busy for you to cope, and then you're weeks away from having it developed. Because I mean, we were lucky, the turnaround for the basic website was within a couple of days, and then the sort of other features of payment processing and other things have come on after that, and it's a continuous development. So Sunny from Facebook Messenger is asking, hello, have you found by adding the jazz evenings and comedy nights, it's attracted a different type of customer as opposed to the usual clientele buying their morning coffee? Yes, it has. It's something, I mean, I've always thought if anyone's in Ashford, the night experience is very limited. So it was something I always wanted to bring to Ashford, was just different experiences. I always enjoyed going to London for a comedy going to a comedy club at the 99 clubs in London, and I've always liked jazz music, and I've always thought it's a really cool thing to be able to go to and have like a little jazz club and have a nice meal, have a cocktail or some wine. And it does attract different clientele, and it gains us attention from other people, especially when we do pop-ups involving third parties, whether it's Ben Hughes' pop-up restaurant. He has his own following for his food. They come to our shop, they like the ambience and what we're doing, and they come back, or they come back and enjoy our coffee. So it always builds up our customer base, and they'll follow us on they'll join our mailing list for any other events. So it's helped. I mean, our mailing list is over 5,000 emails who've all confirmed they want to be a part of our mailing list. So yeah, I found the events are key. Sometimes they're not great money makers, sometimes they're amazing money makers. But we have a salsa evening where we have a dance, once a week. People are learning to dance in the shop, and it doesn't make really any money, sort of break even, but it allows more people to visit the shop and the experiences, and it's the contacts you develop as well. One of those customers may have another idea and want to do something. It leads on to birthday parties because they can see the venue for other purposes, and they can maybe see like, oh, I want to have a party. And so I mean, when the Marks and Spencer was in Ashford, we hosted their Christmas party a couple of years in a row, and that was always a very fun night. But because we got the full license with our live music and everything, we've got lots of opportunities to do stuff. So yeah, and because we have our usual clientele, our events aren't. We don't have to rely on getting all new customers in to make the events work either. So they supplement each other quite nicely. So Macy from Twitter says, hi Freddie, it's good to see your journey so far. We're a cafe and looking to seize a similar opportunity that you've done. What would your advice be to a business thinking about pivoting and adjusting their services before doing it? What would your advice be to a business thinking about pivoting and adjusting their service before doing it? Make sure you know what products you want to be doing. If you're going to go grocery side, that's great. Just bear in mind it is a lot quieter than when we're not doing 40 deliveries anymore a day. So it is a lot quieter. But it's focusing on what you want to do, whether it's afternoon tea delivery, which is something we're going to start doing as well, because looking at the Google search results is something that's still very highly looked for in Ashford. So we're going to start doing that. So it's definitely think about exactly what you're going to pivot to. but then just go for it, because there's no harm in trying in the end. Thanks very much for listening to me. Any questions, get in touch with QuickBooks support team on Facebook or myself, please. I'm on the Stag Coffee Facebook page, or my name's Freddie Hewett, Hewett. Just give me a PM, a DM. Coming up on Ask the Expert tomorrow is Carl Reeder, who is a serial entrepreneur. He's chairman of business advisory firm D&T and author of Boss It, the Startup Coach, and the Franchising Handbook. Tune in and ask him your burning questions about your business and how to grow it. I shall be watching that tomorrow for certain. A reminder that if you need any more advice, join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community group on Facebook. Accountants and business experts are on hand 24/7. Thank you and stay safe. Bye.